Fear Not, Episode 140. Hi, I'm Billy Atwell, and I believe that consistently facing your fears is the only way to realize your truest self and to make those confident choices that will help you to obtain your deepest held hopes and dreams. I have faith that this podcast series will show you that you are not alone, that it will strengthen you and give you courage to face your fears, and that it will help you to permanently cross over into a life of living beyond your fears. Join me on this journey as we listen and learn from others as they share their experiences in facing and overcoming their own fears. Hello, everyone. Today, you and I are going to be joined by jfreeman. Welcome, Jason. How are you today?
I'm doing magnificent, Billy. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, the pleasure's all mine. Jason is the author of Awkwardly Awesome, Embracing My Imperfect Best. He's also a bravery coach who currently travels the country as a professional speaker. Yet for much of his life, Jason traversed a path of immense struggle. An early, traumatic birth occasioned by the loss of oxygen resulted in a pronounced speech impediment and coordination awkwardness. Jason let his circumstance become a limitation that profoundly affected his life. He endeavored to become a perfectionist to compensate. Over the last 10 years, through much trial and error, Jason has found a new way of life for himself that has led to greater ease, happiness, and success. He now finds immeasurable satisfaction in sharing this joy with family, friends, audiences, and clients. Jason, can you take a few moments to fill in those gaps and maybe give us a brief glimpse of your personal life?
Sure, definitely. Within those gaps is just so much day-to-day life. Within those gaps is the excitement of doing things I never thought I would do, like yoga and just finding that I love it. Within those gaps, on many occasions to choose to go down a path of fear or go down a path of loving myself. I mean, in a way, my life is so normal. I breathe and I eat and I sleep like everyone else, but also there's a very unique journey and a very unique way of being in the world, and I think we all have we all have a unique way of being in the world. It's an interesting question, Billy. It is tough to define succinctly what is within the gaps of our life. It's a great question.
Jason, would you start off today? We traditionally ask our Friday guests to share with us their definition of what fear is. So would you do that for us today as well?
Definitely. Fear is, I think fear is a constant option in life. Fear can be life saving. On many occasions, as when we slam on the brakes because the car in front of us has stopped fast. Out of fear, out of that fast lightning reflex of fear. But then fear can also be an unbelievable hindrance, because it'll tell us that we have no business doing what we want to do in life. it'll tell us that we need to be perfect in order to do what we want to do in life. It will mask itself in the most logical conversations within our head. It just fear has 10,000 faces, and it's really good at changing forms and coming out in different ways. It's very good at mutating.
Jason, I was hoping, based on your book, that you would help us to understand courage a little bit better today, specifically courage to be ourselves, or to borrow from the title of your book, Our Imperfect Best Self. So could you do that for us today as well? Could you help us to be more accepting of ourselves as we are?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. The, this is part of my mission in life. We all have many choices on how to be in the world, and I think we all have a real a voice that can become relentless, that that tells us that we need to be perfect to at whatever we're doing to move forward in life. But this voice can literally stop us. For example, this is an extreme example. If I waited for my voice to sound what I believe to be perfect before I I began public speaking, I would be waiting my whole life to speak to audiences around the country as I do now. It is living a dream to be impacting people, helping them get in touch with their own brilliance, helping them get in touch with what they're aching to do. It is a dream, but if I had listened to my perfectionism, that dream would have never even started. And I talk to people constantly who have a dream of doing something, whether it is being an artist or being a musician or starting their own business, but then they tell me that they just don't feel good enough to do that, or they're worried about the money aspect, or they're worried that they don't have time, or they're worried that it won't work out perfectly. And I can tell you, going for your dream probably won't work out perfectly. But that's okay, because when you go for your dream, you can do your imperfect best and have a chance to live your dream, and not only have a chance to live your dream, but have a chance to allow other people to share in your dream. And this is amazing. This is freedom. Actually, this is freedom, and this is love.
So, how can we get to that part, to that point where we can accept ourselves so that we can realize those dreams that we all have, whatever they may be?
Thanks so much for reining me back in, Billy. I love to talk about the big picture, and I get so passionate about it. But it really, I found that it's really a day to day thing. Like even when we started this podcast, that was a part of me that felt fear, and it's either, and it's decision by decision, it's either going down that fear path, or choosing another path. And the other path that I'm increasingly choosing is being mindful in the face of fear. Like noticing the fear thought, and and definitely not trying to go to war with the thought, because fear has kept our ancestors alive, and fear keeps us alive. So there's a lot of room to love our fear thoughts, but then noticing the thought of fear, loving it, and then going back to being mindful, like observing the day outside, observing the breath, observing your body posture. There's so much to focus on in the moment, and in choosing to focus the mind on the moment can take our focus away from fear and give us the energy to move forward. Did that resonate?
Very much so. So, if we could do one thing today, as you were sort of mentioning, to be in the moment, that could help us, where would we start?
Oh, great question. A good place to start is just by noticing your very next thought that has fear in it, and the first thing to do is to assess whether it needs to be responded to, like if it's the thought that, oh, the fire alarm's going off, I'm afraid, definitely go outside and definitely call 911. If fear is going to save us, we definitely want to first of all attend to that thought and act on it. But then, if the thought is going to, if we notice the thought is just limiting where we want to go in life, first of all, consciously give the thought send it love, and allow it to exist, allow it to have its opinion, have its input, and then I would go choose to focus back on the specifics of what you are doing in the moment, or focus on your breath, or focus on your body, or focus on what you observe around you. And through this very simple process, just start mm, practicing moving your energy again and again from fear thoughts that could disrupt your day into the present moment and going forward with what you want to do. If you can focus on the present moment and feel good in the present moment, suddenly you have more choice whether to on what to do with that fear thought. The thought doesn't control you anymore. Your energy has some independence from the thought, and that you can choose how much to how to act upon the thought. And remember, one action is just loving it and letting it simply be while you focus in a different direction.
Jason, what else could you share with us today that would empower us to be able to embrace our imperfect best?
A major thing is to, and it sounds so logical when I say it, but I think we forget to remember that everyone on Earth is going through this stuff. There's probably no one on Earth who thinks life is going absolutely perfectly. Everyone everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has regrets of one sort or another. Everyone has some types of struggles. So within there's a kinship. There's a kinship that can give us courage to to, to be a best. I mean, of course, we could go the other direction and say, life is so hard. It's, it's so imperfect. It's so unfair. Or else, we can take the imperfections of life that we all have different versions of and use those imperfections to ennoble us, to encourage each other on to be a great to be the best we can be, to be an imperfect best, to be a humane best, to be a best that we actually can achieve instead of striving for a perfection that's eluding all of us.
Jason, if someone would like to connect with you, maybe learn about, more about you and your book, how best can they go about doing that?
The best way to connect with me is go to my website jasonwfreeman.com, and I have a fun blog, and there's just a lot of stuff there. Please drop me a line and say hi.
And Jason, what parting advice would you like to leave with us today?
Um, my parting advice is you can you whoever's listening, you can live your life and you can live it fully. I know that there's fear and sometimes immense fear, but there are ways to get through it and keep going.
It's excellent advice, and thank you so much for sharing that with us. I also want to let everyone know, too, that Jason has generously donated a copy of his book, Awkwardly Awesome, that we'll be giving away. So if you would like an opportunity to win, visit the giveaways page at livingbeyondyourfears.com and submit your free entry form today. Jason, I want to really thank you for coming on the show today. I know it took us a little while to get you here today, but I do appreciate you coming on, sharing your story, and helping us to be our imperfect best. So thank you.
Yeah, welcome, Billy. Thanks so much for having me on. It's an honor.
Thank you for joining me today. And remember, you cannot achieve everything, but you do have the God-given ability to achieve anything. So stay focused, out of fear, and keep on keeping on. Until next time, be well and peaceful. For more information on today's episode and guest, or for resources that will assist you in overcoming your fears, visit livingbeyondyourfears.com. And don't forget to subscribe to this podcast, where 3 times a week we move to a life beyond our fears.